Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you. Great to have you along. This episode brought to you by the great folks there at Studeville. And we're joined by head softball coach Jared Freeman today. Coach, appreciate you coming in. And we got plenty to talk about. I know that first I want to talk about the season, and then we'll get into some of the recognition of the players. And let's get into the season. You knew that you had a good team coming in your first year, and those girls produced for the most part. It was a great season, one of the best seasons Ponca City has had in a very, very long time.
It was. Like I told them after the season, don't get blinded. Obviously, it didn't end the way that we had, not the script we wanted to write, but didn't take anything away from winning 25 games, from hosting a regional for the first time in a long time, and we had a lot of success, and really, really proud of the girls. They were just a great group to coach, extremely coachable, got along, just a really good season, and the kind of a ball club you want to coach.
You know, it's always tough as a coach because you have a good year, but, anything can happen in a regional. You've been doing sports thing a long time. It can happen in any sport. You may even feel like you got the best team, but that day the bats aren't going, or maybe the pitcher doesn't have what they need. And that was it just felt like that regional, it was there, but you can't take away from what these girls accomplished based on just that, because if it was the totality of the season, you would have been there. But unfortunately, you're really judged at the end on those maybe 3 or 4 games you're going to play in that regional.
Yeah, and that winners bracket game with Bartlesville, I know the score was 4-1, but probably about a 4 or 5 pitch difference. There was 4 or 5 pitches, 4 or 5 plays that swung it. Teenage young ladies doing the very best they can, but we made some uncharacteristic mistakes. We made a couple of errors that just weren't types of plays that we struggled with during the year, and then we had a couple of chances with runners in scoring position, and we didn't produce. We didn't get those run scoring at bats that we had gotten more times than not, and kind of like you said, it kind of get put under that magnifying glass in the playoffs, and a couple of 2-3 mistakes like we made at inopportune times got us beat.
I know that's tough to talk about, so we're not going to talk too much about that. But at the same time, I do want to talk something around that, and that was the community support this year, and that really showed up at that regional.
It did. Obviously when you take a new position and take over a program, there's a lot of work to do to instill kind of a culture and just expectations, and I think we accomplished so much in that area this year, Jordan. Just as far as expecting to be competitive, just not backing down and being really just a really, really good ball club, and we were. But and I think that's part of the disappointment is, I don't want to say we let them down, but it was like you said, the community, the district, Mr. Leeming, Coach Turner, Coach Parks, the admin in this community, the way that they supported and just showered these girls with it was just really amazing. It was fun to watch because it doesn't happen enough, and we hate that we fell short. Like I said, the girls were like, man, we let so many people down, and I tried to tell them you didn't. It's a softball game, but
and they showered you with support even in defeat. That's the thing too. It's like it's not like the college game a lot of times. This community, even then, they were telling these girls great year.
Absolutely. It's like you said, that's special, and that's it's just pride. It's pride in the school. It's pride in the community. Things that I just think go a long ways, and I think every school, including our own that we love, just can't get enough of it. So hopefully that can be a kind of a yearly thing for us.
Well, we certainly hope so. And you got the new digs this year as well, and that was the other cool thing, being able to play in there. And I know for the players, it wasn't nearly as much. I mean, maybe a little bit in the dugout here and there, but the turf and everything kind of the same. But for the fans, the stadium's beautiful now.
It is. We didn't play in one better, I'll tell you that. Almost 40 games this year, the absolute best facility that there was. So again, that credit goes back to our administration for having that vision. It goes back to our community for being supportive and passing bonds so that our kids can have just great experiences and great facilities. And a big thank you to them. But like you said, I can't tell you how many compliments we got. There was schools from, I won't say the schools, from big Tulsa schools coming over and taking pictures so they could go show their bosses. Asked if we were the U of Ponca City because it's a college level facility. So really, really exciting to have such a nice place to call home.
Yeah, it was nice in the press box too, by the way, which is always, I'm complimentary when that happens. So thank everybody for that. Want to get to now recognition, and I know you want to recognize all the girls because they had a great year, but statewide there's some recognition for some of those girls, and really want to congratulate them because this was a group of girls very critical into what you're able to have the success you were this year.
You're right. I mean, we could literally talk about 10, 11, 12 girls that contributed to our varsity program this year because we had so much depth, which is a complete blessing. And the hardest, your first job as a new head coach, again, is to get buy-in. And the hardest buy-in sometimes is the senior class. These girls had been through 3 coaches in 4 years. I was their third. And from day one, they bought in. They were coachable. Cannot say enough about this senior class of 7 young ladies that are almost totally responsible for everything that we accomplished this year. But you're right. We were lucky enough, and due to their hard work and the seasons they had, we had 3 girls make the All-State team. So we had Caitlin Cooper is on the Large East All-State team as an outfielder. Addison Ivers is on the same team, Large East, as a corner infielder. She'll play some third base at the All-State game. And then Bree Meyer is a All-State alternate at pitcher.
And you know what? You get the 2 on the All-State and the alternate at pitcher, but still, the pitching's so good in 6A. Just to get recognized at that level is something, especially here in Ponca City.
Absolutely. I mean, first off, all 3 were on the All-Region team.
Yeah.
And then that made them eligible for All-State. So to be All-Region and recognized as All-State, and like you said, Jordan, pitcher is the most competitive. It's the deepest. Everybody's got a pitcher that they want to throw in there, and it's not always the case in other positions when we do our nominations with our coaches association. But pitcher's always going to be the most challenging, and I'm glad that Bree got recognized because it's all 3 of them, but well deserved for all 3 young ladies.
Yeah, all right, and you mentioned this, so now you always start looking ahead to next year, and 7 seniors leave, very critical to the success you had and crucial to that success. So there's a lot of good younger players as well. So when you start looking a little ahead to next year, what do you see? And also that brings in maybe some younger ones that didn't play that have to come in and step up. So what's the assessment for now, 2025 softball?
Nothing but positive. I mean, we're excited. We're excited about next year. We're excited about the future of the program. We bring back, on paper, 6 starters. So I mean, we've got some key pieces back. We've got some underclassmen, like you said, that maybe didn't get to play varsity this year that we'll look to fill in those 2 or 3 gaps. We had a really nice 8th grade bunch that's coming up to us as freshmen next year. So I really think, our expectation is that we pick up where we left off. We learn, we talk about winning and learning. Hopefully we learn from the regional tournament and kind of learn what it takes to win in that winner's bracket game and put ourselves right back in the same. Like I said, just because you came up short doesn't make it a failure. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do everything we can to be at least right back in that same situation next year and hopefully have a different outcome.
When you're a first-year coach and you've done this at multiple places, but you're trying to lay a foundation, and it seems like what your seniors with the buy-in, the younger girls buying in, you laid a really good foundation of what you want this softball program to become. Am I right?
You are. I think, every year the dynamic is a little different. But the culture, again, when you talk about praise, I want to, we've praised the community, the admin, but our parents and our support. Our parents showed up, rode, hot, you name it, they were there, volunteered, got so many parents that volunteered for concession and for fundraising for these kids, because it really takes, the entire thing's got to pull on the same rope, got to go in the same direction. So, this year we honestly had it all, and that's the goal, is to repeat that again next year. But, we're definitely excited about next season.
Yeah, and first year back at Ponca as a coach this time. I needless to say, I think you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I told the girls that all the time, that I owed them a thank you for allowing me to be their coach and for getting to come coach with former players and one of my best friends, and just had a fantastic staff. Another group that needs recognized is Kenzie Lyons did a great job with our pitchers. Jaden Hawkins, girls call her Mama J. Just coaching JV, keeping me organized. I mean, I'm not an organized person, so I need Mama J. And then Coach Denoya, who I think is one of the finest coaches out there, and just getting to work with them and what they did for those girls, I appreciate all their work too. So I could not have had a better time. Obviously, again, you try and flush it, but we're disappointed in the way it ended, and we're hoping for a different outcome next year. But just a great year and a great experience for everybody, I think.
Yeah, a lot of success on softball, and there'll be more success to come. Coach, really appreciate the time and looking forward to what you do next year. But once again, want to celebrate what was accomplished this year as well. Coach, thank you.
Appreciate it, Jordan. Thank you.
Coach Jared Freeman, and that'll do it for today's Coach's Corner. One thanks to Chris behind the camera. Thanks to Studeville, our sponsor today. Until next time, Jordan Woodruff saying so long, and go Cats.